Okay, today I want to talk about the mean and standard deviation. Mean also is the average. The formula is here. So you can see basically say the mean is the sum of all the individual value. Then you sum them together, then you divide by the number of the items in the sample. So the formula is here. Let's say individual value is x1, x2, x3. All the way you have n value. So those you add all those together, then you divide by n. This is how you calculate the mean. So basically, that's the average. So standard deviation, there's two different standard deviation. There's sample standard deviation and the population standard deviation. Only difference, so use in the sample, you use sample mean and you divide it by m minus 1. So for the sample standard deviation here, so basically it's say the individual each value minus the mean. The mean is we calculated previously. So basically it's the difference of each value between each value with the mean. Then you square it. Then you add them together. Then you divide by n minus 1. Then you square root of it. So as I said, there's population standard deviation and the sample standard deviation. So population, you use the population mean and the n. So usually when we do statistic, we cannot obtain all the data in a bigger set. Let's say if you want to, if you want to count all the population in the United States, so that's difficult to do. So you most of the time they just doing sample. So that's why most of the time we use sample standard deviation. So one thing those called variance. Variance basically is the square of the standard deviation. Also, you can say standard deviation is the square root of the variance. So that's the relationship between standard deviation and the variance. Here is a quick example. Calculate the mean and the standard deviation of the annual return of S&P 500 for the past 5 years. So you can see this is the past 5-year S&P annual returns. So to give you annual return, you want to know what is the average return, which is the mean. So here you basically add them together, you divide by 5, so then you get the average return. Then for the standard deviation, you basically square root all those. Let's say the 9% minus the mean is 13.4%. Then you square it. Then you add other value minus the mean. Then you square it. So all the sum together, then you divide it by 5 minus 1. And so this will give you standard deviation 12.3%. So if you want to calculate, most of the time we nowadays we have softwares. We even don't need Excel, but Excel is more for yourself, you can use Excel to calculate it. So how you calculate the mean is you use the average. Standard deviation, you use stdev.s. So S is sample. So this is sample. So that give you exactly the same number. If you want to calculate the mean and the standard deviation, use the BAII plus calculator, the financial calculator. You can do it. make sure you know this is only one variable statistic. So it's only one set of number. So when you do it, so you do second data, then you second clear all the work. You input the data cells X set data and the Y set data because we only have one set of data X, so we don't have Y. So you only input the X set data, leave the Y set data equal to 1. So you input all the data like this. Then you, once you input all the data, then you go to second stats. Then you go to second set. Make sure second set you have to do this several times to find the 1 minus v, which means tell you this is only one variable. So once you find the 1 minus v, you just scroll down. Then they give you n, they give you the mean and the standard deviation. So basically, this is how you calculate the mean and the standard deviation. Use the BAII plus calculator. I believe I have a video on this, so you can watch that. Then, okay, so once you calculate the mean and the standard deviation, so how you understand it? So we, in our example for the S&P 500, they have a mean 13.4%. The standard deviation is 12.3%. So within one standard deviation, you basically 13.4% minus 12.3% give you 1.1%. Then you plus the standard deviation give you 25.7%. So basically say within one standard deviation, the return range is 1.1% to 25.7%. And then the probability is 68.26. We just said 68%. What does this mean is say, if I invest in S&P 500, my return range is from 1.1% to 25.7%, and the 68% I will receive, my return will be between this range. So basically, that's how you understand that, which is not a bad idea because you won't lose money since you always make returns when you invest in S&P 500.